So let's continue to discuss the import statement for machine learning. And you need to be aware that the import statement is really important. So here, what we're doing is when we say from math, import the square root and the pi. So square root is a function and pi is a constant value. So you can import variables stored within this module. So this is the module that's been pre-written. We didn't have to write it. And we're just using the square root function. So we don't have to write it. And we're using this pi variable, which is a constant type. And we are just printing its value. So you may wonder, why do we have to do this? So here, if I comment this out, you can see that we get squiggly lines over here. This is because it's saying the square root function and pi cannot be found. Now, you may wonder, well, we are importing in the math class, so why is it that these two don't work? So if I run the code, then you can see we get an error. We say square root is not defined. The reason this happens is here, when we had this import statement, you can see the squiggly line go away. The reason this happens is these square root and pi are literally, you might think a easy way to think is, are copied. So this function square root is copied from this module over to your code. So it's available to your code, and same with this variable. So they become part of your code. So just imagine you copy something from Wikipedia and paste it into your Word document, it becomes part of your Word document. But if you left it on the page and you just referred to it as a link, so here what we're doing is when we say import math, what we're saying is we just pasted a link to the square root and the pi variable, but we didn't actually make them available in our Word document. It's just a link, a hyperlink in your Word document that somebody has to click on. So that clicking part is what you need to think about. So when I comment this line out, you can see we get error. They're saying can't find that Wikipedia article, for example, in your Word document. This is because you have this poor hyperlink. The hyperlink doesn't actually give the details. So what you have to do is you have to use this method, which is you've called it math. So you use math.square root and math.pi, and that's what makes it work. So if I were to run this now, and you can see this code over here works. But remember, you can alias it as well. So you can MT, for example, for maths, and then if you alias that, you can see it gets the errors. So basically we're saying rather than calling it math, we want to call it MT. Just like imagine you have a friend and you want to give a nickname to your friend. That's what this is. This is known as alias. So what you can do is just type in MT and MT over here. And then you can see if I run the code again, this works. Now, another way you could do this is by using the asterisk over here and then take off this and take off this and then add the word from over here and add import over here. So it looks like this. So it becomes very similar to this one over here. And then you can see this works because the asterisk is saying is bring in everything. So don't leave anything out. So this also works without any issues and you don't see the squiggly line under here. So asterisk is a wildcard, basically mean bring everything from this module into my code and make it available. If you don't use the asterisk and you use the other statement like this, then this won't work because you're not bringing in everything into your code.